Welcome to my e-portfolio. My name is Kris Rundles. I created this portfolio using Articulate Rise. Let's go to the tile that shows the section of the portfolio listed vertically on the left. Home, Introduction, the 5 standards, the POS form, resume, more artifacts, and my reflections. Now going to the home page, it lists my autobiographical narrative, including my educational background, my learning experience from the master's program, my work experience, how the program will help me achieve professional goals, and my career objectives for the future. The introduction page reflects on the 5 AECT standards and explains how my portfolio will demonstrate alignment with each standard and its indicators. I review how many of them align with each standard. Then I define what AECT is, its origins, and a definition of educational technology. AECT Standard 1 is Content Knowledge, which is candidates facilitate learning by creating, using, evaluating, and managing effective learning environments. I show the course name and number, a description of the project, relevant learning theories associated with the project, the artifact, and how the artifact demonstrates the various substandards, which are also known as indicators. Relevant indicators are S.1.1. Candidates demonstrate the knowledge necessary to create, use, assess, and manage theoretical and practical applications of educational technologies and processes. I created instructional materials based on my knowledge of Case Catalyst software. The next artifact aligning with Standard 1 is the creation, use, and assessment of a RISE presentation from a course map. I created the RISE presentation, which helped manage the practical application of these instructional materials, which is Standard 1.1. Another aligning indicator is S1.2, which is using. Candidates demonstrate the ability to select and use technological resources and processes to support student learning and to enhance their pedagogy. I selected and used Articulate Rise to support student learning, which enhanced their pedagogy. The third aligning indicator is S.1.3, which is assessing and evaluating, which is candidates demonstrate the ability to assess and evaluate the effective integration of appropriate technologies and instructional materials. In my assessment and evaluation of using Articulate Rise for the improvement of the learning outcome for this course was an effective integration of technologies and instructional materials. The third artifact that aligns with Standard 1 is the selection and use of Case Catalyst software in the creation of a lesson in instructional graphics. Indicator which aligns with this is S.1.2. Candidates demonstrate the ability to select and use technological resources and processes to support student learning and to enhance their pedagogy. I selected technological resources and processes to support student learning via Case Catalyst software to create practical applications of educational technologies in integrating these tools for my specific instructional material. The next artifact that aligns with Standard 1 is a video I made in digital video class. When I was studying medical assisting, my instructor mentioned that the saliva of the lizard helps in treating diabetes. 4 years later, when I entered the MS program in Learning, Design, and Technology, I remembered her fleeting comment and wanted to research it further. To make this video, I chose the video editing program called Wondershare Filmora 9. As you can see, this was used in the digital video class, as I mentioned. The video has music, video within it, text with graphics, and was honestly my favorite project. Indicators that align with this artifact are S.1.3, assessing and evaluating, which again is candidates demonstrate the ability to assess and evaluate the effective integration of appropriate technologies and instructional materials. I created instructional video using educational video production. In my assessment, this artifact will be successful in engaging learners because of the different types of multimedia design elements I used. Here is a view of the artifact. Moving on to Standard 2, Content Pedagogy. The definition is, candidates develop as reflective practitioners able to demonstrate effective implementation of educational technologies and processes based on contemporary content and pedagogy. For the InEd Innovative Education internship, the task at hand was to create a course landing page and update it with a new banner image and colors of the course iconography to reflect the content of an existing course at USF. The indicator that aligns with these artifacts is S.2.2, using. Candidates implement appropriate educational technologies and processes based on appropriate content pedagogy. I used Canvas and Photoshop in updating a course landing page with a new banner image and an appropriate color palette of the course iconography to reflect the content of an existing course at USF. I checked the colors via the WebAIM website to make sure the colors I updated it to were appropriate for USF's color palette. And the project artifacts are displayed here. The next artifact that aligns with Standard 2 is another RISE presentation. I was tasked with creating a visually appealing presentation from an instructor's course map which had text only. This presentation displays the management of technological resources to facilitate supportive teaching and learning communities. I used RISE Articulate for this, as I said, incorporating visually appealing multimedia. The relevant indicator is S.2.2, which is using. Candidates implement appropriate educational technologies and processes based on appropriate content pedagogy. As you can see, the project artifact is here. I uploaded the RISE presentation. Another artifact aligning with Standard 2 is the creation of this map of my desired places of travel, and it was created using Google My Maps. The relevant indicator in this artifact is S.2.5, Ethics, which is candidates design and select media, technology, and processes that emphasize the diversity of our society as a multicultural community. This artifact gave me a global view when sometimes we, in our tunnel vision, forget that there are many cultures across the world. Next, we go to Standard 3, which is learning environments, and the definition is candidates facilitate learning by creating, using, evaluating, and managing effective learning environments. During this class in digital video, we were tasked with making a cooking video. I wanted to place an image of my cutting board on the credits page of the video. That led me to make the screencast tutorial below on how to place an image in a slide. Relevant indicators are S.3.1, which is creating. Candidates create instructional design products based on learning principles and research-based best practices. I created this instructional design video using Wondershare Filmora on how to insert an image into the credits page at the end of a video. Another indicator that aligns with this artifact is S.3.2, which is using. I used an appropriate video production editing source, Wondershare Filmora 9, as I mentioned, to convey instruction based on the redundancy principle, Mayer's number 3, which says people learn better from graphics and narration than from graphics, narration, and on-screen text. Another principle used is the modality principle, which says people learn better from graphics and narrations than from animation and on-screen text, Mayer's number 8. And here is a view of the project artifact. Another project that aligns with Standard 3 is a usability concepts paper that I did in the interactive media class. I outlined the 5 usability concepts, and the relevant indicator is S.3.3, assessing and evaluating. And this definition is: candidates use multiple assessment strategies to collect data for informing decisions to improve instructional practice, learner outcomes, and the learning environment. Multiple assessment strategies were used in my usability report, which informed decisions as to the learnability, efficiency, satisfaction in use, and recommendations for improvement. And this is my artifact. A final artifact in Standard 3 is a paper that our group created in digital media on setting up a safe, successful environment for blind and/or autistic children using augmented reality and virtual reality. 3 indicators align with this project. The first is S.3.2, which is using, and that says, candidates make professionally sound decisions in selecting appropriate processes and resources to provide optimal conditions for learning based on principles, theories, and effective practices. Our group selected appropriate processes, such as augmented reality and virtual reality, to provide optimal conditions for learning based on principles, theories, and effective practices. Common uses of digital technology for disabled students are: 1, the active learning principle such as smartboards, and a second is the media learning principle, which replaces text with digital media. A second indicator is S.3.3, which is assessing and evaluating, which says, candidates use multiple assessment strategies to collect data for informing decisions to improve instructional practice, learner outcomes, and the learning environment. Our group researched articles, learning theories, and videos to make informed decisions on the best learning outcome for the learning environments of disabled students. The third aligning indicator is S.3.6, which is diversity of learners, which says that candidates foster a learning community that empowers learners with diverse backgrounds, characteristics, and abilities. And as you can see, the project artifact, which was a paper, is uploaded here. Just to mention, if you want to read these papers, just click on the right-facing arrow. Moving on to Standard 4, which is professional knowledge and skills, the definition is: candidates design, develop, implement, and evaluate technology-rich learning environments within a supportive community of practice. This was a group presentation on the topic of teaching students how to differentiate among the symptoms of the flu, cold, and COVID-19. Our target audience was high school teenagers. The intent of this presentation was to have a positive impact on teens who might otherwise not have resources from family members or friends in educating them about COVID-19. We used information from subject matter experts, such as the CDC. The relevant indicator is S.4.1, collaborative practice. And the definition of collaborative practice is candidates collaborate with their peers and subject matter experts to analyze learners, develop and design instruction, and evaluate its impact on learners. And here is a shot of the artifact. In preparation for the project mentioned above, our group prepared a front-end analysis in which we analyzed and interpreted data and artifacts for the design, development, and implementation of the technology-supported instruction. The relevant indicator for this artifact is S.4.3, Reflection on Practice, which says, candidates analyze and interpret data and artifacts and reflect on the effectiveness of the design, development, and implementation of technology-supported instruction and learning to enhance their professional growth. And here is a view of the group paper which I uploaded. Another project under Standard 4 was creating a video on one of Mayer's 12 principles of multimedia design, and I chose the signaling principle. The relevant indicator for this artifact is S.4.4, which is assessing, evaluating. Candidates design and implement assessment and evaluation plans that align with learning goals and instructional activities. And here is a view of the artifact. Going now to Standard 5, which is research, the definition is candidates explore, evaluate, synthesize, and apply methods of inquiry to enhance learning and improve performance. This artifact was one in which we could choose our topic, and I decided to delve into the topic of the differences in male and female brain anatomy in utero, which might explain the differences in male and female behaviors. I came up with a lot of research that has been done and compiled on this topic, as well as methods used by the researchers. And our objective in this course was to analyze 7 articles and determine which were found to be reliable and valid and which were possibly just marketing and claimed to be research. The first relevant indicator on this artifact is S.5.1, Theoretical Foundations, which is candidates demonstrate foundational knowledge of the contribution of research to the past and current theory of educational communications and technology. The second indicator is S.5.2, which is method, and that says candidates apply research methodologies to solve problems and enhance practice. I used basic research methodologies in my proposal in order to gain a better understanding of the topic. Basic research establishes that the researcher is not able to change the outcome of the research question. And the third indicator is S.5.4, Assessing and Evaluating, which is candidates apply formal inquiry strategies in assessing and evaluating processes and resources for learning and performance. And here is a view of the first page of the final proposal paper. The second artifact under Standard 5 is an exploration and evaluation of e-learning design software. In this class, we were asked to explore software tutorials from LinkedIn.com or other repositories and select an e-learning design software of our choice to learn 1 or 2 of the skills. The summary of our experiences and evaluation of the tutorial would be based on, number 1, the subject of the tutorial and how we liked it. Number 2, learning theory or theories that were used in the tutorial design. Number 3, what aspects did we like and helped us learn, and what aspects we did not like. And number 4, how would I explain these experiences and preferences based on learning theories? Assessing and evaluating involve asking questions, investigating problems, exploring options, and the impact of exercising those options, much like the critical thinking process. The subject tutorial didn't measure my understanding of its contents, provide any hands-on activity, teach me a skill, tell me a story, or present a problem. It was solely an auditory event. There was no learning gained by visually looking at the screen during the video. As instructional designers, this evaluation helped bring home the point of our program. The relevant indicator is S.5.3, which again is assessing and evaluating, which says, candidates apply formal inquiry strategies in assessing and evaluating processes and resources for learning and performance. And here is a shot of the artifact, which was the paper we presented. Now that I've explained how I met each of the AECT standards and how each of my artifacts demonstrate my knowledge and skills in instructional design technology, I will reflect on the learning experience during the program. As I'm putting the final touches on my e-portfolio, I continue to learn things, and learning should never stop. The creation of this e-portfolio has really helped me reflect on the importance of the diversity of the classes and explaining my projects according to the AECT standards, and has been an extremely valuable exercise for me. You have come to the conclusion of my portfolio reflecting the artifacts I have produced during the MS program in Learning Design and Technology. This is just the beginning, as there is much more learning ahead of me. I have honestly enjoyed each class and appreciate the feedback from each wonderful instructor. I am very proud to be a graduate of USF.